Hey, I'm gonna try something a little different today. Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside. I gotta be honest, I often don't give these little episodes of ours a lot of thought as far as, as far as content. There's always a plan, but there's always a plan within a plan. And man, when you're out in nature or spending time with a dog, you gotta have more than one plan. But I've had a number of people ask, because I've mentioned it, that I'm a forest therapy guide, and people ask, well, what is forest therapy? And why does it need to be guided? So, great question. Man, you opened a can. Here come the worms. Uh, I'll give you the elevator pitch. Forest therapy is a practice. It is a guided, immersive experience, a walk in nature that involves all the senses. And a guided forest therapy walk is where a trained professional, such as myself, comes prepared with a curriculum. It is a sequence, a series of mindful exercises, invitations, if you will, where we explore the use of all the senses. And what it does is it allows someone to become immersed in the moment, using those senses, getting in touch, and sometimes, yes, physically in touch with the environment. So that's where the beauty comes in. I, as a guide, in order to become a guide, took part in an 8-day immersive training with a small group of other people, my grove, if you will. Part of that is building community, and we are literally learning the curriculum, going through several of our own walks, what it means, what the different practices are, what the different invitations are, why they are that way, how they could be performed, and alternate uses of those. But there are some core invitations. There are some musts, if you will, right? And like anything else that we learn, there's a foundation, right? There's good, makes sense to start someplace because we want to get the client to a different place, all in the hopes of offering experience that is healing. And that's the point. So, nature heals. In fact, forest therapy and nature connection got its root in Japan, where the practice is known as Shinrin-yoku. Shinrin-yoku, as a term translated directly to English, means forest bathing. The challenge with that is that as Westerners, we hear the words forest bathing and I'm not taking a bath out in the woods. No, that's not what it is. If we replace the word bath with immersion, then that starts to make sense. So, from my experience, it has helped me. And as a guide, I have seen it help others, hundreds of others. So, in my training after the 8-day, there was a follow-up 6-month practicum where I was connected with another trained professional, a member of the organization, and I had daily requirements as part of my 6-month practicum. There were weekly and monthly submissions. There would be calls, one-on-ones, and then next steps. And that was all, despite after the 8-day and after the check was, sent, there was still a condition that I might not pass based on the success and commitment and follow through on my 6-month practicum. That was a lot of work. It's work. All right. So, I've had the pleasure of taking part in many trainings, professional development. I am in the education industry. I believe I am a lifelong learner. And so I want to share that with you. I want to share that with others, and helping others deal with their stress, anxiety, depression, trauma. It's nature. It's the forest that is the therapist. The guide opens the door. I'm not a therapist. Nature is. But I understand and appreciate the human mind, the human heart, the human spirit, and what it takes for someone to get from one place, and with some natural progression, time, we'll get to a different place. And that's what the guide can do. So, as someone who believes that you can heal yourself, and nature can be a big part of that, there's only so far you can get. As a guide, the guide holds the vessel. The guide will be responsible for the plan, safety, timing, all these other things, allowing guests or clients, participants, to not be in their own head. And that's where the magic happens. Because in order to be immersed and in the moment, someone who is a practitioner need not be troubled by all those other things. And so that's where the medicine happens, is when you can give yourself bare minimum 20 minutes just to get started. You don't even stop getting out of your own head until you're at least 20 minutes in, all right? But after that, 2 hours, we don't cover a lot of ground. We're not going on a hike. This is a walk. We're not walking fast. In fact, it's very slow. Maybe cover a kilometer. There are some musts for me personally as a guide. I need to have access to water, and not this kind, no. Because water has its own properties. We're made up of it, right? I have another video where I talk about water and my passion for it. But yeah, and you can have a nature connection. Don't have to have trees, because you don't have to have trees to have nature. But there's just something different about trees, more specifically these conifers, all right? Now the conifers, a compound, phytoncides, layman's terms, or essential oils. It's how they communicate. It's a byproduct of photosynthesis, and that's what we're inhaling. That's what we're ingesting, and that's the medicine. That's the actual medicine. But it takes time for your body to ingest it, and then you've got to be in a certain state of mind in order for your body to do anything with it.